honestly. So now that I'm here, oh god, I hope it's cheap enough for me to do this. Yeah, okay, so there's some fun shit. I did this at some point in Red's scenario, and I think I might do it like for just about every character because it makes the OP a lot easier and safer. Fun thing about this, somebody decompiled this game and figured out exactly how this bug works. It was known for a long time before that, but there's very few temp variables that this game uses. And see, some of them, in almost every other case, you know, normal like diligent design would have you not like use the same space in memory. You know, pointer access violations and all that shit. Although you don't get those in anything outside of Java. So, what happened here is the integer used for tracking in the cell menu the index of your cursor is the same position in memory as the integer used for tracking how many picks out of this pile of junk you have left. Because the way this junk shop works, yeah, the way the junk shop works is you pay the cost. They say you get 3 picks, and you know it tracks how many picks you got left as you go along. And so it's the same position in memory, and you can go to the cell menu, scroll all the way down to the 7 times to the 8th entry, and leave that menu, and that variable's set still at 7. And you just go talk to them, say you want to sell shit, set the cursor there, etc. Like, isn't that clever? Yeah. There's even better ones too.
You picked out a pile of junk, and you got junk.
Yeah, yeah.
What are the chances?
I know, right? And even better is somebody also figured out there's where the variable for the loose set, rarity-wise, of items you pick out of here is. Because the items you pick out of the junk shop scale with your rough party level. And somebody figured out where that variable is stored and how to manipulate that and tell it to give you the end game tier shit out of the junk pile.
Nice. That's interesting. Yeah. When you originally said there was an exploit for this, I figured what you were going to do was you were going to look at what they sold and then only take stuff from the junk pile that was worth more than 300 credits total, so you could come out ahead.
No, way better than that.
I was like, oh, no problem. And then you're like, no.
I'm writing bits to memory right now, motherfucker. It's like when that person just wrote the assembler command to start up the credits in Super Mario, like wrote it into memory by force. It's super good.
Well, I mean, it's not really that. That's actually interesting because all that is that's just writing in assembly. That's just writing JNE, non-conditional jump, to the memory address of the credits start.
Right?
That's all that's doing.
Well, that's why it's doable, because it's very small instructions. Right, yeah, I suppose this requires like the pure luck that 2 functions written use the same, by mistake use the same address in memory.
Yeah, or they just use the same variable. They increment the same variable. Like this is actually much more difficult to discern because you're not just deliberately sort of corrupting memory. You are utilizing the entire system in such a way that the game does not catastrophically break afterwards, and you can continue to play. It's usually when you do memory manipulation.
It usually blows shit apart
at some point later. Yeah. Memory manipulation is usually gonna fuck you over later.
Yeah.
Which is why usually only speedruns use it, because they don't care about linear.
Exactly.
Already.
And if everything like violently throws its own asshole up, they just reset, run, new run.
Yep.
So
this is one of the reasons why it's infuriating to watch speedrunners.
Yeah, right? Because it's, alright, 8-hour stream, I'm gonna make 1,600 attempts. Oh, I misstepped on the 18th frame of the start. Reset. Like, I mean, that's speedrunning for you. Some people could do it, they can enjoy watching it, I sure as shit can't.
that's not always how speedrunning works. I mean, this is one of the reasons I like watching speed games, because resets are much, much harder. The more closer you get to the present day, the harder it is to just be like, oh, reset, you know?
Mm-hmm.
It's much harder, so people have more pressure to be like, this is non-optimal, but I'm going to play it out anyway, because I can make up the time later.
Yeah,
like,
otherwise I'm adding 4 minutes of startup.
Right. Oh, I love watching a half-coordinated run of Vanquish when he used to do that. He doesn't really do it much anymore, which is too bad because I love Vanquish. But watching him run that game was really, really interesting because some of his best runs in that, he would just completely balls up something 5 minutes into the run. And he would be like, oh well. Like,
Sorry.
whatever.
Oh,
That
God.
happened. And
That's
then,
great.
20 minutes later, he'd get a one cycle on a mini boss and be like, oh, okay, there we go, that's it. That's all that 5 minutes back. All done. It's perfect now.
Fuck. So I'm just real quick looking up how to manipulate the rarity variable, because I can't quite remember how I did that shit.
Yeah.
Blah, blah, blah. Because
I
that'll be
I
nice.
like this. Sorry, go ahead.
Oh no, that's good. I'm just filling a dead air. What were you saying?
Oh, okay. I was just saying, I kind of like this multi-commentator setup here, because, man, I just got up and went and did some shit.
Right? Dude, isn't it the best? Like, I get to let y'all talk.
Alert now when you do.
Yeah, like, it's like, okay, cool. I can let Kami take care of things for a second. I need to go get something to drink. There's cookies being made out there. Someone grab some of those.
Cookies.
Yeah.
Speaking of which, I just cracked open a container of only the finest Japanese chocolate Dars. That's to be confused with chocolate cars. I wish it was called cars, then I could say I was eating the ultimate chocolate being, but
Right. Oh,
unfortunately, this chocolate does not have the wings of a bird, the talons of an eagle, and the armor of an anteater, or whatever the hell. Armadillo, not anteater. But it's got green tea inside it, so let's see.
Oh, that's good.
God, I forgot about this one FAQ.
That's good.
Nice.
I like that. That's tasty.
That does sound tasty. So I totally forgot about this one FAQ that I found here on GameFAQs. That is essentially what I told you. Somebody decompiled SaGa Frontier, and like basically dug into its assembly code. They more or less wrote a like technical manual on every fucking function, every table. They dumped every single like table of variables. So you have the equivalent of a like in-depth college course, a walkthrough of every bit of SaGa Frontier's code and all of its fucking data. They tell you how every single function works mathematically, and it's but like in text, like written out, like technical writing, and it's
really
fucking 1.4
check out.
megs.
Yeah.
It's 1.4 megs long of plain text.
This guy's a job in reverse engineering now, because that is an astounding amount of effort. And
Oh yeah.
that is really commendable.
Oh yeah, like straight up, I'll give it to you right in the fucking Discord. It's, if you're interested, it's nuts.
Oh yeah.
Like it absolutely blew my gosh dang mind when I saw it, and it was what I was browsing through to prep for the LP, more or less. Oh, y'all still there?
Yeah.
Okay, good. So I saw Discord be like, give me a red connection bar real quick. Oh, there it is. There it is, junk cell. I may even cut that little bit out here, but
it's really interesting when games start, because when you Google them, you start to get really interesting results in your Google searches. Like, there's a new Warframe in Warframe named Harrow. And if you search for Harrow Systems, which is a part that you need to build him, at the bottom of the first page, you get a Google Books entry on research on farm and livestock productivity in the central Ethiopian plains.
weird.
Well, it's about harrowing systems for farming. So, logically,
Huh.
I mean, for the first of two new systems being evaluated, a mulled plow is used to the first pass, while secondary cultivation is done by zigzag or chain harrow, according to the crop. I mean, that says hero in it, right? Says Google.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
that's
the
really
word
goofy.
systems is elsewhere on the page. So clearly, this is what you want, right?
Yeah.
See, with the way Google's
that's why I know.
algorithm is, that has to be an impressively visited page. Like,
Yes, actually. That's a good point, but it has no reviews on Google+. Interesting. Although, now I can read this and learn about animal traction research in the Debre Zeit and Debre Berhan areas in central Ethiopia. So, that's cool, I guess. Oxen are commonly worked from 4 to 9 hours per day in Ethiopia. Oxen in the Debre Zeit area are worked throughout the day with few breaks. By contrast, farmers in the Debre Berhan area normally work oxen in 2 periods each day, and the animals are watered and fed between these 2 sessions. The availability of draft power has important effects on the area cultivated and the crops sown. These effects are being investigated. This is important information, guys. Real important.
I mean, it actually is, but that's because I'm a social ecologist.
It is important.
So, like, I actually want to know,
cool.
but not
Cool
right now, and not about this. Like, not when I'm looking for a fucking video game thing.
It is kind of cool, though, just to realize that this book is on Google Books, and you can just pull this up and learn about animal traction in Ethiopia, which sounds like back surgery on oxen, honestly. So
that sounds fucking terrible, to be entirely honest. So I figured it out, and let me see. I'm just gonna get a couple more guns. The way you manipulate the integer which stores the rarity level of the shit you're picking out is because it is in the same position in memory as the last digit picked up to temporarily store the amount of credits you have when you go to sell a thing. Yeah, it's fucking goofy.
So you need to sell items so that you have exactly the right last digit.
Mm-hmm. Well, not even the right last digit. I don't think it's the last digit. It's like the second to last or third to last bit. There's like, of course, the dude who did the data dumping formed a table of the exact ranges in integers of credits you're supposed to have, not like not the binary versions of the values.
Yeah.
Of course, he did write like 18 paragraphs explaining the calculation precisely and the translation between the two. This dude's ridiculous. Like, absolutely fucking ridiculonk. And I'm here for it.
When did this guy do this? Because that's an impressive amount of work for an RPG I've actually never heard of.
Yeah, I think it must have been years.
2011.
The guide was 2000. It finished in 2011, most likely, or last updated.
Yeah.
It was probably over the course of many years.
He probably started at 2008 or something.
Yeah. As I found out, there's like a relatively present community of people who like remember and are very fond of this game and watch people who play it.
Yeah.
As I found out when one of the cool commie friends on Twitter was like, "Oh, you playing the SaGa game? Hell yeah!" And I'm like, "What?" They're like, "Yeah, oh, you playing SaGa Frontier? Awesome!" And like they brought like two or three people that they know came in, and like there's still sites dedicated to it. It's really interesting.
Yeah, there's a site. The site mentioned in this FAQ is a tripod site.
Oh shit! Oh shit! I was really hoping you'd say Angel Fire or GeoCities.
Tripod is right there with them though, so.
Oh, wait, I think Tripod bought Angel Fire at a certain point.
Oh my god.
Or one or the other. Yeah, way back in the day. Back in high school when I thought the coolest thing was my own website. So I fucking had an Angel Fire at one point when I was like, oh, I figured out HTML. I can move up from GeoCities to Angel Fire. I'm the coolest. I got frames on my website.
I figured out how to use FTP upload on GeoCities, and I had frames, and I had my very own click here to break out of frames button.
Jesus.
I also discovered iframes. Oh, that was a bad thing to discover for me. I destroyed people's browsers.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, that was what I did.
Text, autoplay meaties.
Oh, I just did it for my MapleStory group of friends. It was bad for a little like guild that we had. I had like a little,
Maple Story.
I had like a little tiny iframe that was just a drop-down list of all our members, and it's like you can look at what we look like right now because I found out that Maple Story's own website stored like everybody's current sprites of their gear, what you looked like the last time it was saved on the server. So I'm like, yo, I can just find out the URL for that resource and just ape it for it to have like a little drop-down of what do each of the members look like. And I thought it was the coolest shit at the time when I was like in high school.
That is kind of cool.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the precursor to the modern API call for Final Fantasy XIV or whatever.
Yeah, yeah. You know what, you're right. That is actually pretty cool. People just did the same thing, but like refined the idea a little bit.
Yeah, well, people discovered. I mean, it came.
Okay.
Yeah, it came around at the same time that people needed to. It was realized that people needed to sort of communicate in-game information to each other out of game, and they needed a good way to refer to that. I think World of Warcraft was probably the first major game that did anything like that.